Well, hey, welcome to the journey. It is your boy Journeyman Bell, aka Mr. 100, coming to you on Friday. Weird day, Friday, weird time, 6:40. Coming to you on the power of communication. And if you have been listening on what I've been talking with you all about over the last couple of times, I've been listening on the power of the ear because I felt like it is so important to know how to listen. But tonight, I'm going to address understanding the right time and words to use, because what becomes critical in speech is that not only do we know what we're hearing that needs to be said, but we're also understanding when to say it. Because a lot of times, man, we get caught up in these moments and we'll just say whatever comes out of us. I know I'm guilty of it. Listen, your boy's always going to admit himself first. He's going to admit himself into this hospital of life first, because I know that I'm quick to hear, I'm slow to hear, quick to speak, and quick to be emotional. So I am walking with y'all through this. We're going to talk on tonight for a few minutes. We're going to chop it up, and hopefully something that I said can help you in your relationships with people, in your relationships with your loved ones, in the relationships with how you do ministry in some aspect or another. Because communication, if you don't know how to talk and you don't know what to say, we're going to continue to hurt one another. And I personally am tired of it. I don't know about you. I'm tired of the constant not knowing the right things to say, even when it's the truth. I talked about that on my devotional page this week, that even though it's the truth, there's still a way to speak it where it can still be a minister grace unto the hearers. We do not want to continue to let things get into our hearts that we just have to say them because it's the truth, but understanding how and what we need to say in those truths. So as we go into this on today, I thank God for this talk. I've been getting so much good feedback from it, on this discussion itself. And so when we talking on today on understanding the right time and words to say, the timing becomes critical. So because you want to always be able to make a deposit. You want to be able to make a deposit into the person that you're trying to communicate with. But you got to understand what it takes. I'm going to give you about 6 principles on what it takes. So in Proverbs 15:23, it says, a man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good it is. A man have joy by the answer of his mouth, but a word spoken in due season, how good it is. Listen, the writer is just simply saying, like, hey man, you know how to say the right thing at the right time. It will bring productivity. And you got to know how to curve answers with disagreements. You got to know how to cultivate the conversation where it's productive and where it's generating what it needs to generate and how it needs to be generated. So why is it so important? Because what you want to do is you want to reach the heart effectively. Why is speaking the right things at the right time so important? Because you want to reach the heart of the individual effectively. We want to be effective in how we talk to one another. I can't express that enough. I'm going to continue to say it. I want to be effective. I want to know that what I say matters, and I want to know that how I say it matters even more, because I know you care about an individual and you care about these individuals, but how you say it, and if you're not aware of who they are, you're going to still say it the wrong way. The right word in the right season is good to the heart. So we want to be able to reach the heart effectively. Watch this. Why is timing important? Because it creates a greater influence. The amount of things that can be converted. Think about all the arguments that you could have had you not said something, or had you said it a different way. And then when you go back and realize You know what? I probably could have said that differently. I didn't have to say it that way. That was a better way I could have addressed that. But I was in my emotions. So I said it the wrong way. I was swift to wrath and swift to speak and slow to hear. Y'all know what I'm talking about already when I say that. Because I was upset. And because I was upset, my influence decreased. Because I let my emotions get the best of me, my influence of what it is that I need to say, it decreased. And what's going on with us is that we are saying things and we are hurting hearts and we're listening less to the individual. And if you're trying to connect with somebody, you're trying to be in relationship with someone, what you say matters. But how you say it matters as well. And when you say it becomes even more important. You don't want to bring up something that hurts you in a heated moment. That's a horrible time to talk about something where you're upset. The best time to talk about things that bother you are in moments where you have neutral ground with one another, where it's just a conversation. Hey, listen, I just want to have a talk about this. I'm not trying to be over rational and I'm not trying to be emotional. Bringing the ground to fair ground is a sober conversation with an individual that you care about. You don't want to do it when say it. I will not get involved with my emotions and my words in a heated moment. You have to say it. I won't get involved like that because you're going to kill your relationship. So why is it important? Because it reaches the heart effectively, creates a greater influence. But watch this. It changes the environment. When you say, when timing becomes perfect, you can de-escalate a situation so quickly by just saying the right thing at the right time. This is not a time for you to encourage your own opinions. In a heated discussion, this is not the right time to say, hey, listen, let me tell you about you. This is not the right time to finger point. When you're upset, this is not the right time to redirect the attention away from. This is not the right. These are bad issues that we carry. Because when we want to deal with things, we want to deal with it head on. And when you start to deal with things head on with the wrong attitude, you hurt the individual, you hurt the situation, and you make the environment polluted. What they call it, air pollution. You're polluting the environment when you don't understand what to say, when to say it, and the time it needs to say it in. These are so important. So why is it important? Last point is because it meets the need of the situation. Come on here. I'm trying to make the situation productive. But what we've become addicts to, we've become addicts to chaos and confusion in discussion. We've become addicts to, well, this is just my culture and this is just who we are. And our culture has corrupted our communication in so many words that our Bible says, let no corrupt communication, proceed out of thy mouth. But that which is used to edify, that it may minister grace to the hearer. Come on here. What we're doing is we're corrupting our communication. And what we're doing is we're training ourselves to have toxic conversations so that everything feels like an argument. So now in your mind, whenever you hear someone come against you, because you're so used to negative arguments, everything feels like a negative, even when it's something that a person is just being critical about, or someone is voicing their opinion about. We take everything to heart so quickly without understanding that this, and I'm working on a message dealing with assumptions, how we assume way too much. That's for another time. Moving on. Why timing is important? To reach the heart effectively, to create greater influence, to change the environment, to meet the needs of the situation, and watch this, to increase in growth. Listen, if you're still arguing and you're still doing the same thing, you have not learned how to talk to one another. You're only talking at one another. You're never ever learning this. Guess what? You're going to continue to pass this down to other individuals. And if that individual is not aware of how to communicate and understand the right time and to say things, they're going to join the train with you. Come on now. A word spoken in season is good. Come on now. I want to be good at what I'm saying. I want to be excellent in the things that I'm saying. I want to be a master of how I talk. I don't want to master it in a way where I'm manipulative and I say good things just to be saying good things so I can get from you. But I want to learn how to win your heart. The Bible says that he that wins a what? A soul is wise. Come on now. What we have to realize is that salvation is bigger than just hell and heaven. Well, we have to realize that when we say he that wins a soul is wise, is what it's saying is that the person that understands that I'm saving you from a horrible situation that we're headed towards. Come on now. That's wisdom. He that wins a soul is wise. I'm winning the conversation over by a better way of using my tools that's been given to me. And if I speak the right thing, if I speak it at the right time, and if I say the right thing, then whatever was going on in that situation, it begins to diminish. I want to diminish so many conversations that go to the left so fast. I want to be able to bring it back in and bring solution. Because if we don't learn how to bring solution to the things we're dealing with, we're going to continue to be chaotic people in our conversations. And the only thing that's going to matter in our conversations is what I have to say and nothing more. That's not communication. That's control. If all the thing I care about is what I want to say and what I need to get off my chest, that's not communication. That's control. We got too many people that want to control the conversations. I talked about that in listening. It's not about trying to control the conversation. It's about understanding how one another communicates to one another. And when you understand and grab that key and grab that principle, you'll understand what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Because that's all that really matters. If you want to be good, let's go into these 6 points that I'm going to talk about on tonight. Pray with me. Hopefully I can get through it without going over time. Y'all just sit with me because I really want to get through with this on today. But if not, blessed be the name of the Lord. So how do you know when to talk? How do you know when to say what you need to say? How do you know the timing is right for this? What kind of things can I look for? This is not the perfect plan, but this can give you some ideas so that you can say, okay, this is a good time to say this. Or wait a minute, this is not a good time to say that. So let's look at this. Are there principles to discerning the proper time? I think so. I think the Bible says it clearly. It says there's a time and season for everything. There's time to talk, there's time to shut up. All those kind of things. Those things are important. So what should something you look for in communicating as in the proper time? One thing I would suggest is that you would check your motives before your message. Check your motives before your message. Because listen, why are you trying to get it out? Uh-oh. That's personal. Why am I trying to say this now? Oh, is this to try and get a one up? We talked about that. Am I trying to one up you? Or am I actually trying to reach your life? Or am I actually trying to speak to your life something? What is your motive behind what you're trying to deliver? What's your motive on why you want to talk about this right now? Why you want to bring this up right at this moment? Timing is everything, y'all. And if the timing is so that you can get a one-up on somebody, so that you can get the advantage over the conversation, you're all in the wrong timing. Okay, let's look at 1 Corinthians 16. Excuse me. 1 Corinthians 16 and 14 says this. It says, let all things be done with charity. Let all your conversations be done with charity, baby. Listen, I'm speaking in love. Well, I'm always speaking like you sounding like you want to speak because you want to get something off your chest. No, I'm doing this because I love you. Well, that don't sound like love to me. I don't know about you. That don't sound like no love to me. You just ain't willing to listen. I'm gonna give you this because I love you. Well, listen, if you love me like that, I don't want that kind of love. All right, I want somebody to talk to me, not at me. And this is what we got a lot of. We got a lot of people trying to talk at one another, not to one another. If I can talk to you, then I'll listen better. But if I'm talking at you, I'm not listening to you. I ain't trying to hear what you're saying. How we talk to one another matters. You get better results if we learn what to say and when we want to say it, not just from when we feel like we need to get it off our chest. Because some of that stuff that we may say is just going over the person's head. Because first of all, you ain't even talking to me the right way. You don't even know how to talk to me the right way. So no, I'm not trying to hear that right now. So let's check our motives. But listen, I can hear it. Somebody saying, but I really want them to understand what I'm saying. I remember the rule on yesterday. We said we spend too much time trying to be understood, and I spend more time in understanding one another. When you're in an always want to be understood place and want to be heard place, then these are our emotions that we need to work through. We need to walk through. I talked about that on the list, and y'all go back and listen to it. But we talked about overshadowing the understanding by trying to be understood so much that we force our conversations. We force what we want to say on individuals without even realizing that half the stuff they ain't listening to. I'm just waiting on you to get it out the way. Because why? Because how you say it, what you're saying, and when to say it matters all the difference in the world. Watch this. Let things be done with charity, in love. Emotions versus urgency. It's always a defined urgent. Is it always defined urgency? So is it important? Look, watch this. What wisdom teaches is alignment in love to build, not destroy. To build, not destroy. When you see your emotions of urgency, I think that's important that we understand that. Let me say it like this. Just because it may feel important, we need to check to make sure that it's not on the wrong side of urgency. Because you could say something in the wrong season just because you feel like it's important to you. You got to know the situation of the individual. What condition are they in? How are they feeling right that moment? That they may be in a stressful moment. Like I said before, read the room. When you talk to them, do they feel like their attention is there, or is it on something else? It's always important to ask the individual, hey, are you okay? That's the first thing that you do when you come to them and say, hey, are you okay? And this gives you an opportunity to discern whether or not this is the right thing to say, whether or not this is what we need to talk about, whether or not that this urgency is always a divine thing. Wisdom teaches us to align in love. It teaches us not to build and not destroy. I want to reach you, but I want to reach you with the right words, with the right time. And I know that we're not going to get this practice overnight, that this is a practice that takes time. But if you don't learn how to retrain, what we're going to continue to do in our churches, in our families, in our homes, in marriages, what we're going to continue to do is voice our opinion so that we can say we got it off of our chest, and then we're just going to move on. And that's not God. That's not God just because you have to get it off your chest. That's selfish. That's the truth. We don't want to be selfish if we want to be heard. You want me to listen to you, but you want me to listen to you how you want me to listen to you. That's not going to work. So you have to know and understand the environment of my heart and how to talk to me. Another key point, watch this, is to consider the condition of the listener. I was just talking about that. Proverbs 25. I'm walking the word a little bit, so y'all just stay patient with me, because I really want to finish this today. Proverbs 25 and 11 says this. Says, a word fittingly spoken is like apples of gold in pitchers of silver. A word fittingly spoken is like apples of gold in pitchers of silver. It says that when you say it when it fits the situation, it fits the listening ear. The Bible says what? He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit has to say unto the church. That ear, the listening place, becomes so valuable to what it is we need to say, because I want to plant a seed. And this is what we are. The Bible said that he gives what? Seed to the sowers. So with the seed of the right word, we can plant into the heart of the one that's listening to us, the one that we care about. We want to reach them. So we have to consider their condition. What does their condition look like? What does their mood feel like? Are they in a place where they can receive, or in a shutdown place? If you run into people in conversation where they're not ready to listen, you have to respect that space, because it does no good for you to try and force what you're trying to say, to encourage what you're trying to say, even if it's the right word. The Bible says that there's a time and what season for everything under the sun. And if you don't understand the Ecclesiastes 3, if you don't understand when to say it and what to say, it's falling on dead ground. Like the seed with the soil. You throwing seeds on dead ground. They not listening. You just talking, and they just waiting on you to leave your presence. You don't want that. You want to be able to leave a lasting impression, and that is considering their ear. And if they're not in the place where they want to hear you, just simply say, listen, I want you to know that there were some things I wanted to say to you, but I understand if you're not ready to listen to them. Don't invite yourself into a person's heart house. Hear what I'm saying? The heart house is a place of where an individual welcomes you in. So don't try and break and entering into a person's heart house that they don't want you in at the moment. If they're not willing to listen to you, you have to respect that. Hold your peace. Understand the environment. Read the room and say, listen, at the right time, I would like to discuss something with you. Because if it's God, then it'll come back up. He said he'll bring it back to remembrance, everything that we need. And maybe sometimes it is the right word, but their hearts might not be right too for the word. And you want that alignment to fit. It fits perfectly. Be okay with with them not wanting to receive. Be okay with that. You have to respect those places. Respect in communication goes a long way, because it says that if you're willing to respect me, that means that you'll be willing to listen to me. Moving on real quick. Another thing to consider the condition of the listener with is that not every moment is received. You have to be okay that even in the moment when you make an attempt to drop the right word, that it may not be received. Don't get no attitude because they don't want to hear it. Just say, okay. Then you go back and you pray. Listen, for me, I know I've given advice to people and they didn't want to hear it. And I was like, well, fine then. You don't want to hear me? That's okay. It is what it is, But that's not being productive, because God is still watching and honoring me. Come on now. He's still watching me. He said that whatever you do it as unto what? The Lord. And he says that if you're going to do What I'm asking you to do, if you're going to speak the right things to the right individuals, he says that I need for you to still pretend, I hate to say that word, but still act like I'm right there when I'm doing it, because I am. And we want to be very faithful to the things that we're doing in God, but we also want to keep the same heart even when we get rejected. One of the hardest things to do is to go with a good attitude when someone you've given them a real honest advice or word to, and they've rejected you. It hurts. I'm not going to lie. It does hurt. But at the same time, you still have to be accountable for your feelings behind it. And that means, okay, they didn't want to hear it. Okay, God, help me. That's what I do now. When somebody does not want to hear what I have to say, I go to God and say, okay, God, they didn't want to hear me. I said, I'm in my feelings a little bit because they didn't want to do that. And I just need you to kind of help me through this place right now. I believe what I gave them was the right advice, and it may very well have been. But at the same time, I'm still want to check my motives. Going back to what I said, checking my motives, checking my heart. These heart places are so critical because we got to stay in alignment, because the moment our hearts and our minds start to wander, we hear God in pieces. We don't hear him clearly when our hearts begin to wander and worry and fear and all these things we invite in. And the Bible does say to cast down every imagination that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. But when we start to get our heart overwhelmed with things that we don't have no control over, then we make hearing from God a lot more difficult. And God cannot speak into a space that's already occupied. Did you hear what I said? God cannot speak clearly to a space in your heart and in your mind that's already trying to foresee the future of, or already worrying about, or already trying to determine the outcome of. God's voice is going to become very muffled in your direction. It's going to be tainted. So remember that. Going on to the next point is that the discerning their emotions and spirits in the condition. What does their spirit look like? What do their emotions feel like? Are they erratic? Are they upset? They're furious. You can't talk to a man that's furious. You can't talk to an individual that's upset and overly emotional in things. You cannot talk to a person that's very angry. A person that's angry gonna completely shut down anything you got to say. A person that's hurt may be willing to, but at the same time, those are places where they're just looking for gap fillers. And that could be a good spot too. This is where the discernment of who you're talking to is so important. And listen, these principles work across the board, whether it's dealing with your children, whether it's dealing with your marriage, whether it's dealing with a relationship with your friend, your loved one, your people at church, whoever. These principles still work the same. Watch this. You want to be sensitive. Sensitivity gives communication, being kind to the situation. The Bible, as I said earlier, a soft answer will turn wrath. And when you learn how that and understand that tones matter, and when you understand how to de-escalate situations by how you present it, your presentation of things make all the difference in the world. When someone is upset and you try to present something to them to help solve the situation and they're upset, you have to understand and respect that place of letting them be upset. Give them that moment. Say, listen, okay, let's get it out. So maybe if I just sit here and listen to you get it out, then maybe I may not have to plant no seeds. Maybe it's just a moment you just need to get it out. But all these things being sensitive to gives better communication. And watch this. When you're sensitive, you start to understand how that person is. And you start to understand what conversations you can bring to them and how to talk to them. And in that, it makes all the difference in the world. Don't matter how upset they are. If they know that you'll listen to them and they know that their opinion matters to you, they will give space to you out of respect. But you got to build that. You got to build places of respect for someone to listen to you out of respect. Moving on to the third point. Thank you, God, for moving fairly quickly. Moving on to the third point in Colossians 3:15, we talk about seeking God's peace and direction to understand the timeliness of what we need to say. When is the right time to say it? When is the right time to say it? What do I need to say? How I need to say it? All fall up under, come on now, it falls up under seeking God's peace. Seeking God's peace and direction. Colossians 3:15. I think I read that the other day. 3:15 says this, and let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful. He said, let the peace of God. Seeking God's peace is so important. Because as much as I want to say it, I don't want to be emotional when I say it. I want to be able to say it the right time to win your ear. But also I want to have peace in when I give it to you. Pray. Here's the key. Pray before important conversations. As much as you want to get it off your chest and you want to break this news or whatever it is that you need to talk to them about, pray about it. Say, God, first of all, say, God, is this the right time for this? Allow God, come on now, allow God to guide your decision. Ooh, and that's a hard one because that one requires self-control. If it's something I want to say to someone, and I really, really want to get it off my chest. I really want to get it out, and I really want to share it. First of all, I'm saying it all the wrong way. I got to get it off my chest. Now I go back to what I said in the beginning, my motives. So right there, if you feel like you got to get it off, it's a difference in you got to get it off and when God is laying it on your heart. Oh, y'all got to catch that. Did you hear that? There is a difference in when you got to get it off you and when God is laying it on your heart, because God will press it on you and he will lay it on your heart in such a way that it will come as a peace, and it will come as a type of urgency that's leaning towards a helping place rather than, well, I'm trying to help you. Yes, we want to help, but a lot of times we want to help our way and not realize that way is not always the God way. Did you not know that every good thing ain't a God thing? And if God is not leading your heart, directing your life, then you're going to find yourself not having the God that guards our peace and our understanding. You're going to find yourself in wild kingdom. You're going to find yourself in wild territory of trying to discuss things, and it's not going to come out the way you intended to. So watch this. Seeking God's peace. Well, remember this. Don't pressure to talk out of anxiety. Don't pressure to talk out of anxiety. So important. God's timing thank you, Lord. God's timing comes with peace. Don't pressure to talk out of anxiety or this emotional place. God's timing comes with peace. It's going to be okay when God puts it on you. Like I said, you go back to the other rules. You read the room. You discern. Be sensitive. All these things. Check your motives. Check your motives as many times as you have to. Because believe me, this situation can be fixed. That you need to discuss things with. But the atmosphere and the environment is so important. You don't want to go, I can't express that enough. You do not want to go into a hostile environment trying to do peace talks with someone that's hostile without wisdom. Fourth thing is you want to look for the open doors. Look for open doors. What I mean by open doors are the opportunities. And we talked about that on listening. The opportunities that God will present so that you can bring these conversations. There is no conversation that's in God that God won't make availability for. If that didn't hit you, it hit me. There is no conversation that's in God that God won't make availability for. God will create the space for you to talk about the things that need to be talked about, because those are the things. Here's the key. Those are the things that are for the heart and for the relationship and for the direction, to make the direction go in the proper way. We have to learn what things need to really be talked about. We need to learn the things that every conversation that we have does not need to be talked about. So we need to look for the open doors. Point 4. We need to look for the open doors. As if we read in Revelations 3:8, it says, I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. Set before you an open door. Open door, that means that this is a door that God creates opportunities for important conversations. I just said that. So important to use your discernment, not your emotions. Let me say it this way. Use your discernment, not your desires. Use your discernment, not your desires. Because the desire, I want to get everything off my chest. But discernment says, this is what we need to talk about now. Because you may catch them. If you say the right things at the right time, in the right season, you may catch them, and that other conversation you was going to have may not even be important anymore, because you caught them with the conversation that you need to win them back in. I just said earlier, he that wins a soul is wise. This ain't talking about just salvation, but you're losing the connection with someone because we don't know when to say things. We don't know how to say them. We don't know what to say. And we do this so emotionally that we use our desires more than our discernment, which is why a lot of the conversations, they come back unresolved, because we were too busy trying to say what we need to say. Pay attention to God's orchestration. Because everything, even though, look how Jacob and Esau, they had a bad art with one another. They were so far with one another. Esau wanted to kill his brother for what he did. They never had an opportunity to talk. But God made it so at the right time that he orchestrated that conversation back together. And this is what we have to learn how to be patient with. That some resolutions don't come overnight. I got some odds with some people right now, but I have to realize that there are times it's not the time right now, and there's things that need to be gathered in order to be presented for the conversation, so that it can be productive and it can be God. So we want to definitely look for the open door. When you stay clear-headed, you're able to see when God is permitting that door to walk through. But if you stay in your desires, you won't discern it. Number 5. I think that's number 5. I probably don't miss one, but that's okay. Number 5. Know the difference in what's urgent and what's important. Know the difference in what's urgent and what's important. Simple for Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, for everything there is what? A time and season for everything under heaven. Every important thing is not to take care of, is not a now action. Let me say it that way. Every important thing is not a now action. So important. Let me say it one more time. Every important thing is not a now action. When you begin to know the difference between urgent and important, you will save so many relationships. Well, what's important? What's urgent? What's causing the relationship to fall apart? That becomes the urgency. What's important to you may not be important for the relationship. So you have to say, and I hate to say this, but sometimes you have to push some things aside that you may feel as important, but could be detrimental to creating a far worse environment for you and who you're connected to, whether it's husband, wife, son, daughter, blah, blah, blah. whatever. That environment has got to become more critical to you than what it is that you want to get off your chest. Though there's a lot of things that I would rather have got off my chest, but if I would have said them, it probably would have destroyed the relationship. And I have to realize that I can't let everything that I think important destroy the relationship, especially when we're in critical condition in our relationship. When your relationship is in critical condition, I think it's important that you understand the urgency of what's in front of us. And let's work on that. And then if time and God will give the door, let's find that more open space for that. But knowing the difference in urgency and what's for now and what can wait, that's important. What's for now and what can wait? What's for now and what can wait? Always ask yourself that. Well, it's important to me. It should be important to them. That's not how it always works, because we're all different and we all have the right to feel different about what's important to us. But I think what's also important is that we know what's important for the relationship. And that comes from what? Listening and understanding one another. Last three things, and then I'm done with this. Or last points that I want to do. Before you start speaking, ask yourself this. This is a part of the timing. Thank y'all for listening in and for hearing my heart. Before you start speaking, ask yourself these questions. Ask, is it true? Ask, is it loving? Is it necessary? And is it the right time? Is it true? Then yeah, we definitely need to try and find a way to talk about it. But watch it. Is it loving? Uh-oh. Now we trying to discern what's loving and what's not loving. Is it loving? Well, I'm speaking the truth in love. But like I said earlier, speaking the truth in love is still in how you say it. I can speak the truth in love, but if I say it the wrong way, it's going to sound selfish. So is it loving in what I want to say? Saying it softly don't mean it's less loving when you know the individual. Just because I say it softer, I have to know the individual too. Just because I say, you ugly. I said it's softer, but it's still hurtful. You ain't pretty. It's still hurtful. So it ain't just about how I say it. It's about what I say. How I present it. Is it loving? Is it necessary? Or is it your necessity? Is it necessary or is it your necessity? Did y'all hear what I said? Is it necessary or is it your necessity? Because that makes all the difference in the world. Because if it's necessary, then okay, then it's possibly something that needs to be spoken. But if it's a necessity, if it's a need for you to get it off your chest, we need to take that on to God. Now, I know that all of this is a practice that we continue to have to work on because you don't get this right overnight. But these are just some principles to just kind of help you understand how to speak the right words at the right time. Just some principles. You can take it or leave it. So a grain of salt or $1 million. Last thing, before you speak, is it true? Is it loving? Is it necessary? And is it the right time? Because if you go back and look at discerning and being sensitive, if you're in let me say it like this. If you're in your flesh, this is right, this is true, this is loving, this is necessary, and this is the right time. But when you're in God, it turns into, is it true? Is it loving? Is it necessary? Is it the right time? Because when it's when we want to get it out, it turns into automatic. This is urgent because it's me that needs to get it out. But when we start to bring things to God, I ain't saying we ain't gonna master this overnight. It takes time, but that's why he said in Proverbs 3, what? Acknowledge me in all of your ways. When you learn how to practice God in all of your ways prior to heated moments, hostile moments, prior to moments of disagreement, when you learn how to take everything to God in your whole day, when you wake up every day, say, God, I'm available to you. God, what do you want me to do first? Do you want me to get up, or do you want me to stay here a minute? When I acknowledge it to God, I call it practicing the presence of God. Because when you learn how to talk to God with everything you do every day, understanding when God wants you to do things become a lot easier. It won't, if you learn how to let God tell you to turn left or right at the stoplight, come on now, you learn how to let him guide you from left to right at stoplights. When it comes to getting on the highway to go further off, he'll be able to guide you a lot easier, because why? You're working on not just your prayer life, but your conversation. I call it conversations, because the things we think about with God, he already hearing it anyway. He heard Sarah laugh. He heard her laugh. So God is already having conversations with us anyway. All we have to do is just start using our acknowledgeable places of, hey, God, just want to run this by you. Want to get your opinion on just this. God, what should I wear today? I just want to get your opinion on this. How often do we ask God about those things? You know why? Because it seems so simple to us that we feel like it's not that important. I shouldn't have to ask God what I should wear. Why not? Because think about this, and then I'm done. If God tells you to wear a blue shirt and you say, I want to wear a white one, just for a hypothetical, listen to me. You wear a white one instead, but you were supposed to wear the blue one. Somebody you could be going to in a grocery store could have seen that blue shirt. And just from seeing that blue shirt, they would have said, oh, I love that color. And then a conversation starts from just that. Oh, well, I got this shirt at such and such. I got this shirt online or wherever. I got it from Temu. I shop at Temu a lot. And then all of a sudden, there's a 5-minute conversation. And all of a sudden, now I'm talking to this individual about their life in the Lord, or they dealing with a matter. You don't been in shopping lines before, and then all of a sudden the conversation went from what you were shopping at, what you were buying, to anything else that was needed in that moment. And all God needs is a moment to plant a seed. But that's just the importance of acknowledging him in everything. And we overlook, and we just think we just throwing on clothes. But by acknowledging him and asking him, God, what should I wear today? And he leads you to that, could just very well lead to a soul. It could very well lead to a place of success for you or for somebody else. Somebody else may want to be a blessing to your life. But how will you know if you're leaning to your own understanding in everything? This is how you build a stronger relationship with God, through small conversations throughout the day. So in closing, before you speak, is it true? Is it loving? Is it necessary? And is it the right time? Speaking the right things at the right time to the right person at the right moment can be and build more effective relationships in how we communicate to one another. This don't answer everything overnight, but it does give you a starting block to how you can have a better life and better relationship with people around you. Because just because you know them is a good thing, but how you talk to them can make the relationship even better. So y'all, this is your boy, Journeyman Bell, aka Mr. 100. I thank you for listening in on the journey where we take life one step at a time. Y'all be blessed. Thank you all for your support.